I hope everybody's excited to be here today. I think we've got a really extraordinary day for everybody, and we're really looking forward to getting into the details of it. For those of you who I don't know, my name is Sharon Hodgson, and I'm the Dean of the Business School. I really appreciate everybody taking the time out of their busy days to come and spend a full day with us here at Ivey on our symposium, which is The Future We See. We've designed the day for change makers and thought leaders with the idea that after you spend the time here today, and we've presented some thought-provoking ideas, that you go back to your organizations and start to drive the changes that we talk about here today. Many of you know that this is the 100th celebration for Ivey. And while we have celebrated a lot over the last year, the legacy of Ivey as an institution and our development of leaders, we haven't just been spending time on legacy. We've actually been spending a lot of time looking forward. And that is why the symposium that we're at today is called The Future We See. In fact, we started looking very seriously at the future and how a business school like ours could have impact back in 2020. And that's when we started working on our strategic plan. If you think back to that time, it was mid-pandemic. And I think we can all agree it was a pretty challenging time. And I can tell you, and it was an extraordinary time to be working on a strategy. If you think about all the disruption, much of it actually had started before the pandemic. During that time, there's also much highlight around workforce disruption and the challenges that we were all dealing with managing a workforce that was moving in the Great Resignation and how we actually kept our talent focused on our missions. There was more focus on climate, more focus on equity, and more recently, there was the launch of ChatGPT, and now the tragic and unsettling conflicts that are happening around the world. When you think about those big issues and the level of disruption that was among us, we really wanted to reflect deeply as a business school about how we could have more impact on business and society. And it caused our team to think deeply about the purpose that we needed to have at Ivey and the focus. Our new purpose statement reads, "Inspiring leaders for a sustainable and prosperous world." I believe it reflects our strong legacy of preparing leaders with an evolving view of responsible prosperity. Also, as part of our strategy, we renewed our mission, and we set a very compelling challenge for our organization that we were going to address critical issues facing organizations and society. We picked 3 critical issue areas that we felt we had the capacity to research deeply and that we could bring into our classroom conversations. The first is the evolution of work. The second is Canada's place in the world and Canada's competitiveness. And the third is sustainability and strategies for getting to net zero. And actually, that's why we're here today. It's to engage in some deep discussions about these critical issues. Our agenda today includes exceptional keynotes, exceptional CEOs as well. It's a CEO panel, but it's exceptional CEOs, a lot of insightful breakouts, and topics like AI and digital transformation and how that's impacting the evolution of work. We're going to talk about sustainable agriculture, as agriculture is such an important part of the Canadian economy, yet it's the 3rd biggest emitter in Canada, and we have to do something around correcting that. We're going to talk about entrepreneurship and our need to innovate and drive Canadian competitiveness. We also have important topics today on transforming healthcare, the electric vehicle industry, and the future of leadership. I hope you leave today feeling energized and empowered and ready to make the changes to yourself and to your organization. So let's get started.